And once again, a reminder, I record all of these, so if you don't want your face on the screen here, you may leave your video off. So let's get this out of the way. I know you can't see that on the video, but so here's our slide for today and what we're going to cover. Every Friday, we're going to do a week in review. Excuse me. So this week, I'm going to cover how I'm going to be grading over the weekend. The first thing we did 3 weeks ago today actually, was to share your Google site with me. If you don't know how to do that, you can go into Google Classroom, go to the Classwork tab, and go all the way to Procedures, and select this one, Create and Share Your Google Site. There's a little video there and a form that you fill out. So, sharing your website was worth 5 points. Your daily doodles are going to be worth 5 points apiece. We've done 5. We will have done 5 after today, and I'm not going to do the grading until tomorrow, so don't be concerned about this. But we will have done 5 of them, so it'll be worth 25 points. Sharing your Google Drive with me, again, there's a procedure on that. I showed you how to do that the other day. And if not, I will create a video and upload it so that you can see how to do that on a video. Adding pages to your Google site. So far we've added, let's see, we've added the daily doodle, the portfolio. If you have other art that you want to post, there should be a separate page for that. I think I showed you yesterday how to put sub-menus into Google Sites. So what's going to happen is on every single page in your Google site that has multiple images, the daily doodles, the projects, the portfolio, etc., the other art that you're putting on there, anything that you're doing that I haven't assigned, projects you're working on, etc. Each one of those is going to have its own page, page, and then on that page there's going to be a Google slideshow. Next week, I'm going to show you how to add more interactivity with hyperlinks. I showed you yesterday how to create internal hyperlinks and external hyperlinks on Google Slides, and I'll continue to do that and create videos as I go. In this morning's video, I actually did a separate video that hasn't been uploaded yet. There's a new video that I created that shows you how to add a YouTube video to your Google Slides. So I'm going to publish this to YouTube while we're in class here. And I'm going to leave the description for later. So this will be working in the background while we're in class today. And let me get back to my slides. Uh-oh. Wrong password. Guess I needed that for YouTube. Sorry for the interruption. Trying to do 4 things at once. Not a good idea. I don't multitask well. Okay, so let's get back to the page. We'll present this. Again, this is an internal link because it goes to another slide on this presentation. And today's slide hopefully is here. Yay, it works. Okay, so the secondary video that will be posted probably before 10 o'clock this morning is how to add a YouTube video to your Google slideshow, your Google slide presentation. So getting back to the points, adding pages to your site. So far there are 3 that we've added in the past 2 weeks. And I've already mentioned what they are. And then you're going to add slides for each page. including on the daily doodle, there's going to be at least 5 pages on your daily doodles for each of the doodles this week. The other art at this point is extra credit. Those of you who are doing excuse me, those of you who are doing artwork that you're uploading to your Google site right now, just make sure to put it on its own page and call it other art. That's simple. Okay, so that's as much as I'm going to cover today. Excuse me, I got a cough in my throat today. So you can see 5, 25, that's 30, 35, 40, 40 and 25. You're going to have 75 points for this class added to the grade book this weekend. And any extra credit obviously will boost you up. But one thing I want to mention about grades, I will allow and give full credit for work that you do all the way up until 2 or 3 days before the end of the semester or before the end of the quarter. So we have another, I think we're in week 3, so we have another 5 weeks of this. We're going to have obviously 5 points for each daily doodle and so forth. But as you continue to add to your website, the easiest way to get behind in this class is to not continue to upload your work to your Google Slide, your adding work to your Google Drive, and primarily I'm doing the grading using your website. So when I look at your websites today and tomorrow, these are the things I'm going to be looking for. Obviously, you would have had to have shared your site with me already, and I'll probably be making phone calls today and or tomorrow for folks who haven't shared their website with me. So this presentation, and here this is the embedded video for today, daily doodle for today. But that's about as much as I have to share. I'm going to do a weekly review every Friday. There's always going to be a slideshow. And if you look at weekly review. So period 1 week in review. This is from last week. I will add all of the videos from this week to the week in review, so that you always can go to the Friday week in review and see what we've done this week. As well as I'm updating my website on a regular basis, but most of the information you need is in Google Classroom. So you can see that there were quite a few videos here. Actually, this is a good place to go to see this one too. I put the share your Google site here. I put the form for that. Photographing your artwork, this is last week, using a cell phone. Adding pages and slides to your Google site. This is a Zoom meeting from last Friday. And I think this is the example of my website. Yeah. Nope. What is this? Oh, wrong page. So this is my website, but it's just it went to a different page. Oh, it went to my student sites page for this day. So this shows me who I've seen your web pages for. I apologize to these folks who I have not checked to see and added your pages, but this is how I'm doing my grading. I'll have everything all on one page in one place, and then I'll just click one at a time in here, and I'll go through my list of assignments, which so far, here are the list of assignments. And again, in the week in review, there will be the slideshow also for this week. So everything you need to know, it's called redundancy. When you do things in different places, may not be necessary, but redundancy is built in, meaning I'm putting things on my Google site, I'm putting things in Google Classroom, I'm adding things to different places in Google Classroom to make sure that you have probably more information than you need. But that's just basically, I want to make sure that there's no communication issues. So let me also talk a little bit about attendance. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Here's the way attendance is going to go. If you have done work, so let's say you weren't here yesterday. If you went on Google Classroom and you said hello, or or sorry I missed the Zoom meeting or whatever in a comment, I'll get an email and I will mark you present for that day. Going forward, starting Monday, in addition to doing that, you're going to need to update your website on a daily basis. So let me go share my screen one more time, and I'm going to show you one other thing I'd like to add. When you're building your website, because you should have already built it by now, I'm going to double click this one to open up this website, which is a sample website. See where it says edit footer? Let me open up a different one. See if I did it on this one here. At the bottom of the page, if you move your mouse down here, it'll say add footer. What I'd like you to do is, whenever you make a change, I don't know what that is. Whenever you make a change, go down to the bottom, click on edit footer, and change the date and publish your site. That way, it's very easy for me to see how often and how recent you have updated your website. But you should be, as a point of procedure, as soon as we're finished in about 2 minutes here, as soon as we're finished, as a procedure, you're going to draw the daily doodle, you're going to upload it to your Google Slide. It automatically uploads to your, or saves to your Google site when you've put Google Slideshows in your site. It will automatically update it. And just change the date down here. As we go a little further on, starting next week, I'm going to show you how to start colorizing these characters using a product called Photopia. And if you want to get a heads up on it, play around with it, it's photopia.com. Let me spell it here. And if you've never used Photoshop before, photopia.com is very much like Photoshop. Wait a minute, what's going on? Control K, paste. Oh, that's not it. Oh, it selected everything. So Photopia looks like this. And we're going to be learning how to use this starting next week. We're going to take the characters we've already drawn, and we're going to put them in Photopia and colorize them, and then save them back to your Google Slideshow and also to your portfolio page. But we'll get into all of that next week. Again, if you want to play around with this, you just open up files from your computer. Let me find one. Pictures, screen dumps. So this is a graphic I thought was really cool on the San Diego Unified School District's website because it shows an example of cartoons. Very simple cartoons, and this is one of those banners on the San Diego Unified website. So I just took a screen capture of it, and now I've uploaded it into Photopia, and I can work on it and save it back to my computer. So that's just a quick demo of how Photopia works. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oops, I wasn't sharing my screen. I'm sorry. I wasn't sharing my screen, so you didn't see that. Let me show you again. Excuse me. So this is Photopia. You just go to photopia.com. All I did was open a file from my desktop. Here's another one. So these are two screens. You can see the gradation down here at the bottom where it gets dark on the bottom. These are just banners, and you can see the little arrows here. And I can actually show you how to do these type of banners in Google Slides also. But that's probably for second semester. Okay, so now I'm finally done talking. As always, please say hello and or goodbye in the chat if you understand what's going on. If you don't, please stick around and ask questions, but I'm going to stop recording.